Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and in this video I want to talk about fuzzies in Dragon Ball FighterZ. So fuzzies is a term you probably hear a lot. If you already know it, hey, awesome. If you don't already know it, I'll quickly explain. It is the concept of basically hitting an opponent while they're in standing block, even though they are trying to crouch block. So before we even get to the meat of the video here, let me put you in this crazy miracle dreamland never happened scenario, right? Have you ever blocked an instant air heavy from Bardock? Of course you have, right? Everybody has, right? And for the sin of you blocking an instant air dash heavy from Bardock, you're now on a blender. So here I am, I'm going to block it. I'm just going to try to crouch block it and just see what happens, right? Oh, 50-50, I'm dead, right? Full combo from there. Let's go crazy, right? Because Gogeta is a tall character, and thus he gets fuzzied. And that is inherently one of the biggest issues with competitive Dragon Ball FighterZ, in my opinion, at the moment. There will be a Season 3 some point in the future. I have no idea when. Maybe it's addressed then. I don't know. But right now, this is the issue. So, hey, Gogeta, he stands up too tall. And because he stands up just a little bit too tall, he doesn't slouch like Bardock or, Super Saiyan Goku does. Then he has the privilege of having to coin flip every time he blocks Bardock's instant air heavy. And like, that's silly. And so let's go to someone like Broly. Obviously, Broly a lot bigger. So yeah, you bet he has to suffer the same issue. There's actually quite a few fuzzy setups that only work on big characters like extra big characters like Broly and Android 16. What about Hit? Poor old Hit. No one really talks about Hit much these days, right? Well, even Hit, unfortunately, the game considers him too dang tall. Thus, hey, he gets the privilege of getting fuzzied. But here's the question, right? We got 3 different characters, and there's a lot more than get fuzzied than these guys, right? But do any of these characters gain anything? They certainly have a downside in that, they have to deal with the fuzzy coin flip, right? Now I have to guess lower overhead when, an average size or smaller character does not. But do they gain anything? Do they have any extra health? Even Broly, biggest character in the game, he has the same health that everybody else does, right? Does Gogeta have anything outside of his usual bag of tricks to make up for it? Well, hey, no, not really. Does Hit have a extra little special bonus? It's like something awesome to make up for the fact that he has to deal with this? Nope, not one thing. Now, let's bring in some of the more privileged characters. So, hey, GT Goku. I don't think I gotta go on and on about, hey, all the advantages GT Goku has. And you know what? He's little. He doesn't have to worry the least little bit about the fuzzy mix-up. He's little. Hey, how about Kid Buu here, right? He's little. Safe as safe can be. Oh, you tried to go for it? Well, he just went clear over my head. So, you know what? I'm just going to down heavy and let's go from there, right? So, these are characters which I don't think it's a stretch to tell you these are better than most other characters in the game. Kid Buu, Kid Goku. And, hey, they don't got to worry about that stuff. And that's basically the issue here because there's a massive inequality. This is a very big deal in high-level play, and this can happen anywhere. Like, not necessarily the most optimal character as far as tiers go, but Vegito, right? Vegito can easily fuzzy any character that is fuzzyable anywhere on the screen. So even just a simple setup like this, right? And if you are one of the characters that is able to be fuzzied, this is something you actively have to worry about. And it just goes on from there, right? And this is basically one of the core issues of the game as it stands, because this basically hurts character viability in a high-level play environment. If you've been keeping up with competitive Dragon Ball FighterZ at all in the last last few months, you may notice team variety is not at its highest. You're almost certainly going to see one of these guys on the team, and you're almost certainly going to see one of these guys on the team, right? And on top of them just being legitimately fantastic characters to be sure, right? So that's one of the best reasons to pick them. They don't have to worry about these like weird coin flip high-low mix-ups that other characters do. Characters that are otherwise nominally strong characters, like say a Broly. Broly's definitely been climbing up the tier list over time, right? He still is not necessarily a favorable character to pick because, hey, he has to worry about this kind of stuff. What about a smaller character like Frieza? Frieza obviously isn't one of the larger characters in the game, and even Frieza has to worry about fuzzies. due to the ever-prevalent snapback mix-ups, right? So Frieza, due to the weird way his head is shaped, he has to worry about fuzzy mix-ups on a snapback. So just to show you an example here, so classic adult Gohan snapback mix, and I got my inputs on just so you can see me try to crouch block this stuff, right? So let's see how this works out for me as Frieza, a nominally smaller character. Alright, Snap, gonna block here. Oh, I'm on the ground, whoops. I got instant overheaded into machine gun kicks into, hey, combo city, right? It's literally that simple, and he can just as easily, you know, hit stand light, go for the low. The difference between the low and the overhead is basically negligible. It's not like you're going to be able to reliably block both in any way, shape, or form. And even if you think he could, well then, hey, the Gohan could just delay the grounded light just by just a smidge, right? And then you're still got, regardless. So here you are, Frieza, you know, not a tall boy, and he gets fuzzy just the same. And that's kind of one of the big issues is a lot of these incredibly powerful characters that you will see a lot in higher level play, like your Bardoks, like your adult Gohans, like, you know, a lot of people, because tons of characters have fuzzy mix-ups. Be they just mid-screen, be they in the corner, be they off the snapback. There's tons of available options here, and basically what this does is this lowers viable characters if you want to play serious. So here we are on the character selection screen, right? And I'd say about a solid third of the cast has to worry about this kind of stuff, which stinks. Like, you know, basically, why pick a character that has to worry about these kind of things, you know, when you could just pick, you know, Bardock or GT Goku, who can do these things to other characters, but they themselves do not have to worry about these kind of things themselves, right? Basically, why introduce this element of mix-up that you have to guess, and, you know, it's very easy to guess wrong, when you don't have to? And that just kinda stinks. So is it all hopeless? Well, mostly, honestly. But some characters do have a little bit of a hole in the fuzzy if you know it's coming. So Bardock specifically, because it's one of the more common examples here, for him specifically, between the jump jab and the energy blast, the ki blast, there's a tiny little gap where you could say down heavy through it. Like that. And that's going to be character to character dependent because of the hitbox issues. Cell specifically, you could do medium perfect attack with very strict timing, and then just like go for a TOD or something. But yeah, that's basically just how it is right now. So fuzzies, they've been around since day one, basically, right? But a lot of people didn't use that kind of stuff in day one because, hey, nobody knew. But as the game matures and we learn the tech and all that kind of stuff, what was uncommon or rare back in the day is now just plain commonplace right now, right? If you saw any Janemba or Gogeta DLC hype, I'm sure people was writing on Twitter, on Reddit, or wherever you read this stuff, immediately it's going, gets fuzzied, LOL, worthless, right? And while that might be a bit of a joke, there's a bit of nugget of truth in there because their usage of his characters automatically lessened because they have to deal with this stuff that other characters just don't have to deal with, right? Now, will there be a fix in time? Once again, I don't know. Season 3 is pretty much a lock at this point. Just a question as of when. For my money, if you wanted to ask me for how you'd fix this, I think it's an easy solve, honestly. You make it so moves, specifically jumping moves, cannot hit overhead while you're rising. So if you hit a move overhead and you're standing in any way, shape, or form, hey, it's a mid. Worked for Mortal Kombat X. There was a character named Kung Jin who had a very big problem in that his jumping 2 was basically a full screen overhead that led to full combo at all points, right? And they just changed it so, hey, you can't overhead with jumps while you're on your way up from a jump. And I think that simple fix would work just well in Dragon Ball FighterZ. But you know what? Let me know what you think. Hey, you love fuzzies? Well, hey, I play big characters, so I probably don't like it. But still, if you love fuzzies, if you want to see fuzzies fixed, you know, what's your ideas for fixing fuzzies, please post it below in the comments. And I guess that's it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.